Hi, I'm Jen, and I travel a lot with my family of 7. Wherever we go, I like to help support the local farmers. In this video, I go over a farming technique that is slowly being adopted in the US. It is called regenerative farming. Well, what is regenerative farming? I had to go to Google to find my way down the rabbit hole. Don't worry, I know your time is precious, so I will share the cliff notes of my findings. Basically, regenerative farming starts with the soil, which kind of makes sense. For all of you artistic visual learners out there, here's a picture from Groundswell that identifies the 5 principles of regenerative agriculture. You have diversity, protect soil surface, maintain living roots, minimize soil disturbance, and livestock integration. For this video, we will ignore the livestock integration because we are dealing just with the farming. For the more sequential learners out there, here is another picture from Urban Vine that starts with understanding your farm operation. From there, you have minimize soil disturbance to maximize crop diversity. Moving on to keep the soil covered and maintain living roots all year round. And finally, at integrating livestock, which we will again once ignore due to focusing on the planting aspect. As I traveled deeper down the rabbit hole, I came across the World Economic Forum, which defines regenerative agriculture and states the benefits of it, also where it's being used. I would like to note that this technique is being used all over the world. One example is in Brazil, where farmers are diversifying their crops and using organic fertilizers, which, in 2 crop rotations, has tripled the cotton yield since they started. And they also have yields of other crops that have grown as much as 7 times. This technique has a lot of amazing benefits. So let's go ahead and dive into how farmers are benefiting from this technique. First up, we have healthy soil. Improving soil health can help sequester carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Healthy soil can also retain water better and reduce erosion. Next up, we have reduced soil disturbance. Tilling the soil releases organic carbon into the atmosphere and requires equipment that produces greenhouse gases. The third one is restoring biodiversity, which helps to increase the number of beneficial insects, birds, and other wildlife. This can create a more balanced ecosystem that can better resist pests and diseases. Another benefit is having living roots, which can help modify the soil by releasing organic compounds that support the microorganisms in the root zones. This can improve soil structure and stabilize soil aggregates. Another benefit is cover cropping. What is cover cropping? Well, it's when you leave crops in the field to cover the ground after they die, which can help boost the soil, especially in dry farms. And then you have crop diversification. As we saw with the farmers in Brazil, growing a variety of crops can help you ensure food security and reduce the environmental damage and transportation costs associated with growing and moving food. Lastly, you have nutrient management. Regenerative farming can help improve nutrient density and water quality, which can also help crops become more resilient to extreme climate fluctuations. It can also reduce the need for synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, which can have a negative environmental impact. Now to the flip side. What are the disadvantages of regenerative farming? Well, for starters, it is time consuming. Again, results can't be seen overnight. The farmers in Brazil went through 2 crop rotations to see the results. It is also difficult to do on a large scale. It limits how many types of produce can be grown at one time. And it takes careful planning and organization. Crop rotations must be planned in advance. I don't know much about farm life, but I can see how this can deter some farmers. So, how many farmers in the United States actually practice regenerative farming? As I was in the rabbit hole, I found out there's not a precise count, but it's gaining traction. According to AI, it says approximately 45,000 farmers practice regenerative methods out of the estimated 3.4 million farmers. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's not a lot of people, but I'm glad it's gaining traction. As I climbed out of the rabbit hole with a better understanding of regenerative farming, I am grateful to have met a farmer practicing this method. I want to say thank you for your time in sharing this journey of learning why we should regenerate ourselves with regenerative wheat. Please share this video to help bring awareness of regenerative farming. And again, don't forget to keep on supporting your local farmers and farmers.